Okay. I don't know if this is recording properly, but I'm going to spill my spleen anyway. Now, one of the things that I think they should do for Sims 4 is include dragons again. Um, Actual dragons that you can raise and stuff. And I think it would be really interesting because in Sims 1, and I've never played anything but Sims 1 and Sims 4. Just putting that out there. In Sims 1, they had dragons that, depending on how you raise them, how you interact with them, depended on the color and their general personality, which I thought was really neat. I used to have a couple of them myself. I always liked the purple and gold dragons better than the red dragon, and they're hard to deal with if they're a red dragon. Anyway, I think it would be interesting if they introduced dragons again in like a mini expansion pack, and reintroduced us to Vicky Vampiris. Vicky Vampiris is one of the ones from the original Sims that we never see again. And I think it would be interesting if they did a redesign of her as well, because she's kind of sickly looking. I'm looking at this and I'm like, she's kind of sickly looking. Sorry about all these ads and stuff. I can't get rid of that. But Vicky Vampiris was introduced in Sims 1, and she was the one who gave you dragons, dragon treats, and such on and so forth to raise your dragon with, which was neat. For magic coins. Now, I think it would be interesting if they did a redesign of her in Sims 4, give her an upgrade, make her not green but pale, more like Vlad, and brought her into Sims 4 as a cashier person that gave you dragons. And I think it would be interesting if instead of magic coins you paid simoleons. I had a whole conversation about this with myself earlier. But I think it would be interesting if they brought the dragons back, and not as they were in this one, and I think they had them in Sims 3, yeah. I think it would be more interesting if you had dragons that helped with certain tasks, like a green dragon for gardening, a red dragon for fire, to like help with getting rid of pests or pesky people or dealing with burglars and stuff like that. A dragon that could dig for minerals, and as a baby they could like dig around the house kind of like a dust bunny does to find items that have been lost in the house. And then like an emotional support dragon for people who are erratic, gloomy, such on and so forth. And then one that maybe helped with romantic situations, like they could give you a flirty boost or something. And then have a rainbow dragon that could help with all different tasks, and depending on how you interacted with them as a baby would depend on their personality. Like for example, instead of it being a red dragon, it would be a stubborn dragon, meaning it would help you in a way that you didn't expect. Like for example, a gardening dragon, a green gardening dragon that had a stubborn thing, would, instead of encouraging growth of the plant you wanted, it would encourage the growth of a plant you didn't want, or have trash plants just randomly appear even when there wasn't any trash. Whereas instead of a gold dragon, you would have a dragon that would be helpful but lazy, meaning this dragon would help you in its own sweet time. And then instead of a purple dragon, you would have a cooperative dragon, meaning they would do what you want as long as you kept them happy, fed, cleaned, such on and so forth. And the only way you can get a dragon is through Vicky Vampiris, who would also give you chew toys, a nest for it to sleep in, treats. And these items would only be given if you have a dragon egg. And the dragon egg could be gotten from, let's say, a nest. Like, say you go to her store and there's like this big, huge nest, like a 9-tile nest, 3 squared basically. And there's a selection of a certain amount of eggs in there that you can choose from, and it changes depending on the day, the time of year, you know, and that would be really cool, I think. And it would be really neat, I think, you know. But I think they should bring back Vicky Vampirus, because Vicky Vampirus was really cool. But I think they really should update her look, because oh my gosh, that is so outdated. Like, she could have a similar outfit, but like I would update her skin tone to be more like Vlad, and her hairstyle could change a little bit. She could keep like wear a circlet, something like that. It's basically tiara. I think that would be really cool. I think having a dragon, and you would have a 2-dragon minimum per household, and they can't breed, and they don't have a gender, because that wouldn't matter. Basically, they're a helper. They're a live-in helper that you can command to do things. And instead of and you'd treat them like an actual pet, and like they'd start out as small as a kitten and then gradually grow to the size of a full-grown horse, at which point, once they're a full-grown horse, you can actually use them for travel, and the dragon would come with you. So I just think that would be really interesting. And another thing I think they should introduce, and this is just my personal view, that has nothing to do with what's on screen right now, is they have all of these, let's see, they have all of these, pets in My First Pet stuff. Like, you can get the tiny hamster cage and stuff like that. Like, why can't we get snakes? Snakes and lizards would be so freaking cool. And I really think that would be really neat. You know, having a snake or a lizard, and you get a different one depending on, you get a couple of choices depending on the size of the terrarium. Like, say a small one that's about the size of, let's say, the hamster cage. Which, you know, isn't super huge, but let's say it's about the size of the hamster cage. You would get something like, I don't know, a corn snake or an equally sized lizard, and you get a couple of choices depending on the size of the cage. And a slightly bigger one would be like, oh, I don't know, a python. And then the arboreal terrariums that are huge, like the, oh gosh, what? There's an item in the game that's like for, there's a really big fish tank that's like a display item for like in diners and stuff. Something big like that. You'd get like an arboreal snake. And I think that would be really cool, you know, because there's no market for people who like that kind of stuff, and it's a little discouraging, because I'm sitting here going, there are people who like snakes and lizards and geckos and all kinds of stuff like that, and like every time you feed an animal you pay a certain price, and you could do the same thing with the lizards and the snakes. And I think that would be really cool, you know, because I love snakes. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I love snakes. I've never actually owned one, but I've read up a lot about them. I've interacted with them before. I have pictures of them. And I think it would be really neat for The Sims 4 to include something that allowed you to have snakes or lizards. And what I thought was, what if they included that with a pack that would be similar to, and this was a mod back in Sims 1 where you could add a raptor to your game. I thought, what if, say, you had a vacation land that was similar to Jurassic Park, and you could interact with the herbivores, and sometimes the animals would get loose and your chances of dying go higher. Like, you get stomped on by a larger animal, or you get eaten by a carnivore and you're dead. Neat, right? Because I know, and the only place you can go to interact with those creatures would be on that vacation island. You can't have them on your home lot. Like they had, we did in Sims 1. We had we created a maze using walls. As soon as the sim got in, we took away the door. We released the raptor from the other end of the maze, and you basically had to find your way through the maze to the other side where the door was, without getting eaten by a raptor that would try and devour you. And that's how your sim would die. Anyway, I think it would be interesting if they included something like that too, and have merchandise based on these packs that I'm talking about, like a shirt with a snake on it, or a shirt with a lizard on it. For the dragons, have dragon shirts, dragon, stuff like that, or have certain hairstyles to go with it for your Sims, and for the dinosaur stuff, have because I know they already have some dinosaur stuff in the game already, for kids mostly. But what if you had shirts that advertise this new land, or that you could only buy at the place, and depending on your favorite dinosaur, you could get that as a shirt. And there would probably be a couple of different choices, which I think would be interesting, because there's a whole world of gameplay that you could open up with these ideas of mine, that I think would be really interesting. And people like snakes. People like stuff like that. And furthermore, okay, there was an item in Sims 1. There was an item in Sims 1 that was... Here it is. You had a choice between this guy and I think it was a macaw. Yeah, there it is. And you could interact with them. You can talk to the birds. You can interact with the birds, have full-on conversations with the birds. And they didn't really move around, and you could feed them and you could talk to them, and that was about it. And that wasn't terrible. What if they expanded on that too? Because birds are another favorite people pet too, and I didn't really see that in the first pets thing. I could have overlooked it because I don't really super pay attention to it, but I think it would be interesting to include that as well. When they introduced it, they also had the bird feeder, but that doesn't really, that's not really an interaction, and chickens are chickens. They don't talk or anything. They're just an interaction item. We have all these pets. We have mini goats. We have mini sheep. We have horses, cows, cats, dogs, chickens, llamas. Why can't we have dragons, birds, snakes and lizards? There's a whole world that they could open up, and it would be really cool. Because, I think that's the only thing that's really missing. Because in The Sims 4, I don't think there's really an interaction item that you can talk to to a bird. And I think it would be really, really cool if you could interact with them. Because, like, in Sims 1, you had a terrarium that you could put a lizard in. You had, like, all kinds of more interaction stuff. What is this? Oh, that's a CC pack. That would be really cool if they made that real. But I think it's more to the point that, like, they should take people's ideas and just run with some of them. Or you can include it all in one, you know? Dragons, dinosaurs, birds, and lizards and snakes. You could put that in a freaking game pack and sell that. And people would buy it. People would buy it. People would eat that shit up. Tell me they wouldn't. I love Sims 4, but I yearn for more. I do. I yearn for more. And instead of selling the stuff for the dragons for magic coins, you could sell them for simoleons. Like, add a 0 to the price of the item. Let's say, okay, say you need a dragon chew toy for your dragon. 80 simoleons. Say you need treats for your dragon. 50. And you get 10. Or 5. Something like that. Say you need a nest, and they could stay in the nest until they turned into large dog size, say, and it's 500 coins. And then the dragon itself would be 500 extra coins. And you could only get them from Miss Vicky here. I mean, how cool would that be? I think they can do more. I really do. I really feel like they can do more, because they have, like, bunnies. And why can't you raise bunnies? Why can't you, you know... And then they have, like, fighting with a skunk, fighting with a possum, fighting with this, fighting with that. And there are people making CC out there, which is great. I love that. But I'd like to see it released as actual gameplay, not something that I have to find on the internet to download to add to my game and worry if it's going to mess up my game. You know? And, like, what would be really neat is if they added ravens. Ravens and crows. Because ravens and crows are extremely smart corvids. And they can talk. Just like a cockatoo, just like a cockatiel, just like parrots and stuff like that. And they can learn to use tools and stuff like that. I think that would be really interesting. Like, give me more animal gameplay. Give me more to work with. Give me more. Just give me more. Because, like, I've played with horses. They're fun. I like them. Cats and dogs, same as always. The rat slash hamster slash whatever they put in that cage thing, I don't remember. That was interesting. I didn't particularly care for it. It was kind of mid. Mini goats, mini sheep, entertaining, cute, useful. Chickens, good for getting eggs, good for social. Llamas and cows, same thing. Good for getting items from, good for social, stuff like that. I want something more that'll interact more like a cat or dog. And I know there's CC out there that can turn your dogs to look like dragons and stuff like that. And before they released horses, they had items that could make your dog look like a goat or a unicorn or a Pegasus. And that's another thing. Why don't they have Pegasus? That would be really cool. Anyway, I want more. I want more. And I want to see more. Because I have ideas, and I was talking about them to myself earlier, and I wasn't recording, and I'm sitting here going, this would be a really good idea. For dragons, you could travel anywhere, even into little those little nook and cranny places like the Sylvan Grove, the mine, the little mine area, the Glimmerbrook. As long as you've been there once, the dragon can take you when it's full grown, and full grown would be full grown horse size, let's say, and you can ride on them that way. I just think it would be really cool to have a pet that's also useful. Because dogs can be, cats can be, like forgetting items. Like the cats can get you the feathers. The cats can take care of the mice. They can, and it's an interesting gameplay mechanic. But I want more. I can't tell you how much I want to see more items that you can interact with as a sim. And I think it would be fun. More to the point, I think it would be interesting to have dragons that can help you with certain skills or certain goals and stuff like that. And, you know, snakes and reptiles would be interesting for people who like snakes and reptiles. I'm one of those people. I've never actually owned one, but I think it would be interesting to include it because snakes and reptiles are a part of our world. And I think it should be part of the Sims world too. I think it should be, you know, part of that world. I think it should be cool. I know they have little items at various places that, like, okay, little birds and stuff like this that you can mess around with in the various areas. Like here you can scare the birds away and various other things. And then there's the bird feeder item here. And that's neat. But it's not very... It's not as interactive as I want it to be. And I know it's possible that they can code it because they've done it before. I think the problem that they're having in the want to bring those back is not so much the coding itself, but the rigging of the items. And I get it. It's hard. It's difficult. Making a game isn't easy peasy. I get that. I've never made a game, but I know a lot of coding goes into it. I've seen people do it. I want more. I want to see more. I want to see Vicky Vampirus return. I want to see the dragons return. And I'd like to see them as four-legged dragons with wings. Not like this, because... And you should be able to name your own dragon however you want. You can't take them into cast and change them or anything like that. But it would be cool to have them as like an actual like family member once they hatch from the egg, basically. So they'd appear at the bottom of the screen to indicate how they're feeling. Kind of like you can hover over them like you do with the cows and the mini goats and the mini sheep and the horses, and see how they're feeling about food, cleanliness, attention, and stuff like that. I think it would be really cool to have a dragon that did that. Same thing with the snakes, the birds, the lizards. Just I want more. I do. I want more because maybe I'm a little bit greedy, but I think it would be fun. I think it would diversify gameplay, and I think people would enjoy it. Just consider it like another animal pack. Just like expanded animals or something like that. Like, hire me as a consultant because I have ideas. They're there. They're there in past games. Because I actually own the original CD copy of the complete Sims, which, if I remember right, was the first 5 discs. Yeah, because I also had Agnes Crumblebottom and various other things, and I've been watching a lot of theory videos lately on Sims and whatnot, and the timeline and such on and so forth. Anyway, not the point of this video. I want to see more. Like, you already have animals you can interact with, but I want more. And I'm sure other people do too, because, like, I as you saw when I moved around and was looking for examples, like, people want lizards, people want parrots, you know, people want these things. We just don't have them. And, like, this is an extended rodent pack. And, you know, props to them. Because I can't do that kind of stuff. Props to them. For real. I just... Yeah, and raising small animals like this would be cool, too. Like... Actually, that's one of the people I follow, the Kalina. She's really good. Props to her. Kudos. Go follow her. Go get her stuff if you want it. She's on, I think, Tumblr? Tumblr, right? I think. There's also a whole thing where you can just download stuff from her on another site, too. But I found her on Tumblr. Anyway, not the point. I think it would be interesting to include other animals. You know, give us a variety. Don't just give us, you know, base stuff. Oh, and another thing that I found out that was interesting that really made me angry. Not really angry, it was kind of just annoying. I was looking for Gypsy Vanner and it was listed under something Cobb. Galagino or something like that. And I'm sitting here going, why would you call it that? It's a Gypsy Vanner, not a Galagino Cobb or whatever the heck they listed it as. Because I actually looked up the term for that particular type of cob, and I was like, it's just a Gypsy Vanner. Why not just call it a Gypsy Vanner? That was just annoying. It's like, call it by common name, please, so that people know what the heck you're talking about. And Gypsy Vanners come in more colors than what they have listed, I can tell you that much. Oh, and here's one more thing that I think they should include for just the horses. A skeleton pattern. I don't think they have one. I don't think they have one. Because when I made a version of a character from another thing, there was no skeleton pattern to my knowledge for the horses, and I had to draw it on myself. Well, I didn't do too bad, but still, that was kind of annoying. I want more. I want more. I want lizards. Give us turtles, give us lizards, give us geckos, give us snakes. That's not what I'm looking for, but that's interesting. Just Maxis, if you ever see this, if anyone ever directs you to this, just give us more pets to interact with. Give us more types of pets to interact with, because dogs, cats, mini sheep, mini goats, the rat thing, the horses, that's all great. The cows, the chickens, the llama, that's all great. But there are those of us who have birds, snakes, lizards, chinchillas, various other types of rodents, birds, and we want to be recognized. We want our pets to be shown in the game. We want to be able to say, hey, that's cool. you know? Just give us something good. Give us something good, please. And bring back, okay, like, for real, bring back Vicky Vampirus. Give her an upgrade. Let her sell dragons again. I have so many ideas. Just... And the thing that made me mad is that when they brought in Realm of Magic, because I never played 2 or 3, I only played 1 and 4. This was the only dragon that they had. A dragon familiar, and he looks really sad. That's really sad looking. I'm sorry. That looks like a dinosaur with wings. I'm sorry. You can do better. Please. Okay. You can do better. And mods have proven that people can do better too. Because I've seen mods where they turn dogs into dragons, and it looks really cool. Y'all can do it. Please just do it. Please. I love Sims 4. I just want a little bit more. And you're probably listening, and what I'm doing is playing with a 3D printed item. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I just... I want more. I want more items. I want more pets to interact with. I want more. Please. I beg of you. Like, they have these they even have these items in Sims 4 that look like bird cages. Why can't we buy birds to put in them? To take care of? Why would you do that? Ugh. You have bird skulls. You have bird feathers that can be collected. You have birds that can be chased around. Birds that you can see in various places. Like, let us interact with these items more. I want a pet animal that's not what we already have. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, everybody wants more. You could just download CC. That's great. I don't want CC. I want actual game stuff that'll actually work every time my game updates. Because every time they put in a patch or something for The Sims, I have to restart my game after re-enabling my mods. Which, I don't have a lot of mods on my game. Most of them are eye colors, hair color add-ons, and a couple of item add-ons. I don't like using gameplay add-ons because sometimes they don't work. So, Maxis, give me a break, okay? Give us more. Please. I beg of you. Give us Vicky Vampirus. Give us dragons. Give us birds, snakes, lizards, other pets that we can interact with. That... just... I just want more. That's what it is. I just want more. Thanks.